Hey guys, um, I wanted to make another quick video while I have time and while it's on my mind um, about something that was kind of revealed to me maybe a couple of weeks ago, 2, 3 weeks ago. Um, and when I say revealed to me, it was, by the Spirit, just during my meditation and contemplating, as I often do. And the title of the video, and you will see how it all ties in. You can let me know whether or not you get it, if you can see where I'm coming from. I truly I believe it. So the title of the video is the Mammy Narrative. The Mammy Narrative. Now, let's just real quick think back to the Mammy. She was usually very heavy set, usually a dark-skinned woman, usually no makeup, usually hair covered, a maid outfit, whatever, just no beauty, no nothing about herself. And yeah, so let's just take it from there. It's hair covered, and even the dresses, big old long dress that didn't show anything, and as I say, the being overweight, okay. So she was usually a caricature, a character, a stereotype, if you will. Not desirable. I mean, she's usually helping and being handy to the beautiful blonde-haired white woman with her makeup and her hair done and her fancy this and her rich that, and so she was definitely nothing to be compared to. Now, first thing I want to say is, that's not, I mean, I wasn't born back then, but I don't believe that was, I mean, it's a character, it's a stereotype. All black women were not going around looking like that. All black women weren't maids, you know what I'm saying? They didn't all look like that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there were beautiful, beautiful black women throughout history. Just, I mean, come on, I don't even have to go into that. So that was a derogatory, demeaning type symbol of the black woman. A lot of times she was jolly, maybe a little loud, So let's fast forward all the way to today. I don't really know when it started. I don't know, 80s, 90s maybe. I don't really know when it started because I didn't really do any historical research on it. But let's fast forward all the way to today, to where even now, and let me just say, that Mammy image lasted for decades, okay? Just like now. We're fast forwarding to now. Stereotypes of the black woman. She's not fat, black, unattractive because of not having makeup and hair not done and big clothes. So we don't have that image anymore. But we have the image of she's probably young. She's probably probably still has a nice body. But she probably has 8 kids. She got 5 to 7 baby daddies. She's on welfare. She living in the project. She loud. She got big earrings. She is not very educated or eloquent in speech. She's not the speech. She's not smart. She's not, the chances of her going to college and all this are slim to none. On welfare, on WIC, on housing, that's the stereotype. That is the stereotype. I'm not even going into like the person and all this kind of stuff. That's the stereotype. So we went from the mammy to the ghetto queen. I'm just gonna say ghetto queen. I'm not gonna call nobody name. And now she is the butt of ridicule. She is the symbol for black women. She is the stereotype now. She is the character. She is the bubblegum popping, hair braided, long extensions, big butt. You know what I'm saying? That's her. That's the new mammy. The new ridicule. So here's the thing I want, though, to bring out. Just like back then, every black woman was not like the mammy. And one of the things, if you look historically, if you just look into some of that stuff historically, there's a lot of evidence that will tell you that black women didn't look just like that. First of all, there's a whole history on black hair and black women's hair and how the white women made black women cover up their hair and things like that to even make them look more dowdy or whatever, So it's reasons behind that. And if the black woman was looking like that and was not desirable, then, there was, the black woman didn't look like that, I was going to say something that, was probably not, it wasn't going to be taken in the right context, but the black woman typically didn't just look like that. Okay, let's go ahead and fast forward. The ghetto Queen, the ghetto girl. She is not the stereotypical black woman. It is something that they have put out there. It's a narrative that they have put out there. Usually, well, there's so many avenues I could take with this, but I want to keep the video short. The first thing, the whole welfare thing, anybody who thinks, and I don't know every city, I don't know every town, every county, and how things operate, but for the most part, for the last few years, there has been so much welfare reform, and there has been reforms that you cannot just sit up on welfare and pump out babies and not work and, as people think, live rich and be big and high and fancy on welfare. It's such an ignorant narrative, but that's what people think. But even so, those days are like long gone. Those days are long gone. I'm a 70s baby, and my mom worked. And yes, she got welfare. Yes, she got Medicaid. Yes, she got food stamps, but she still worked. So I guess that did happen. I know that it happened, but it's not the case, anymore. And it's been not the case for quite a while, because you have to go out and look for a job and do job searches if you get food stamp, any kind of really financial assistance. Now, one of the things they don't talk about is, might as well say the new welfare is like Social Security, and all of the, people that's sitting up on Social Security and disability who can work, not talking about the ones who can't, and they sitting back collecting fat checks and getting food stamps and all that kind of stuff, but you don't hear that about them. You know what I'm saying? It's plenty of them, men, women, black, white, Hispanic, plenty, but you don't hear that narrative. You hear that narrative continually thrown at the black woman, and it's so old and outdated until, usually the average black woman that even I know, that I work with, that probably most of us work with is a black woman who is, whether she's single and or has kids or not, she is usually working. She's usually taking care of herself. She's usually taking care of her kids. For the most part, she's not loud and ignorant and flamboyant and, popping gum and just, the average black woman is not carrying that type of stereotype. They're getting up, going to work and trying to live and trying to survive and pay bills and, be a good mom and a good sister and, doing all these typical things like everybody else, But, and here's the main thing that I want you to take from this video before I stop. That stereotype that is played out, that narrative that's played out about the ghetto queen, the loud and everything I just described. When you see people on social media bashing, when you hear the men that say, oh, I don't date black women because of whatever, usually they're bringing up the Ghetto Queen narrative, the new Mammy Narrative. They're usually, when you hear their description, oh, black women too loud, oh, black women, what do they say? They don't respect their men. Oh, black women don't submit. Black women, they too independent. They too masculine. They too whatever. That's usually that ghetto queen perspective that they're looking at. That's usually that. You know what I'm saying? That's not the normal, average, everyday black woman. The whole masculine thing, there are masculine aspects to, working itself is masculine. So, it's just, you're not going to look feminine and pretty working. I don't care what kind of work you do, unless you're a model or something like that. So it's, we need to examine the concepts and break down where a lot of this stuff is even coming from and from who and things like that. I don't see a lot of just masculine black women walking around. I really don't, unless they are lesbians and they're openly gay, they're open lesbians, and that's how they are. I don't just see that, you know what I'm saying? And so anyway, this whole ghetto narrative, Mammy narrative, from what I see, these are the ones that men are telling, oh, well, you need to lower your standards and get you another kind of man because you're not good enough and you're not this, and the whole stereotypical everything that you hear being talked about black women is not the normal everyday black women that I personally see and know. That's a character, it's a narrative, and that's the perspective usually that they're coming from. She want to fight all the time, she want to be in the club, she got all these baby daddies, and she got so many black women are in college. So many black women are not even having children right now. Look at the statistics. So many black women are up and out and doing for themselves. First of all, food stamps, Medicaid, all this kind of stuff. I'm going to exclude Medicaid. Food stamps, welfare, all this kind of stuff. You almost, at this point, for anyone who has looked into it and not just spewing out a bunch of stupidity, they have put the standard so low until you have to be making pretty much below minimum wage to even qualify. And I'm gonna be honest, I got one daughter and I don't qualify. I get, you make too much money. And that's a whole nother story. But they have lowered that so far till you can barely do almost anything to really qualify for it anyway. So we don't have these hundreds and thousands of black women sitting around on welfare being loud, ignorant, ghetto, and not working and not being productive and, you know, not able to keep a man and all. I mean, just, I say this and I make this video for the sake of those who get offended or get triggered or whatever, because I'm going to be honest, that type of stuff would trigger me. It really did before I had understanding, true understanding, and before, you know, I started just really looking and breaking a lot of stuff down. And sometimes, you know, sometimes stuff, I still see stuff on social media that'll trigger me, and I have to get off for a while, and I have to get back focused, and I have to get back to what is real and what's reality. Because a lot of times on social media, a lot of things are given and said and presented that are half-truths, that are from the wrong perspective, that are the wrong narrative, that doesn't apply to everybody, and that are gaslighting and triggering type perspectives, period. That's what it is. That's what it's for. And, you know, if you're not focused and if you're not doing research and really getting the true perspective of everything, you will get triggered and you'll get pulled in and you'll get into these long, silly, foolish debates with people who are masters at being narcissistic and know how to word salad. Look up word salad. It's very interesting. And know how to gaslight and and who are trolls and who just don't have anything else to do. They just want to F with people. Some of these people could even be paid. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I wanted to present that, and I wanted to, you know, see what your perspective is. You know, from what the way that I presented it. You know. This new Mammy Narrative, you know, and, you know, as I say, you know, that is the stereotype that most people out here attack and say and use to paint the whole brush on all black women. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. To the next video. See you next time.